So yeah, kind of reminds me of my church back in Hawke's Bay. There was certain people like if I was at the same place for like 10 minutes or something, 15 minutes max, there'll be it was like a group of about 10 or 20. There'd be 3 or 4 of them would show up. So I was going through the same thing back then. It's just I thought it was normal. And I thought, well, I don't break the law, so it's all good. Now you know what's going on. Known for a number of years, actually. Yeah, known since, well, accepted it since my early 30s, but I've known it since a lot earlier. Because moving here, I don't really experience the same thing. And if I do, it's like, well, you know. So the honey traps, sorry, got distracted in the last one. It's okay. Um, because there's also things like whatever I say on here, I might be talking about something that happened. The reason why I don't use the most recent examples usually is because I don't need to be giving life updates. Well, that's not a life update, it's just a description of what's going on, but then people can try and make up things as to what's going on now. I've had people bring up certain things like, and then question me things about things that I had made clear on here, but it was like months ago or even years ago, and they're like coming to the acceptance of it now. But then there's those who I know have sent them because they have the same attitude. You know what I mean? They have the same attitude, the same similar things as some of my relatives. You know, the ones that didn't want me to succeed. And it's like they don't say that, but they say they have the same vibe. They randomly pop up at different places, and it's like they have the same attitude as those other ones, right? And quite often they're either the same ethnicity. Well, they're mixed breed, but they take one side of the other. But that's all good. Um, you know, they're just either from that socio-economic class, or they're from that ethnicity, or a mixture of the two, or they're yeah. I just know. See, yesterday I went to the because we don't have any basketball this week because the venue has been taken up by the college national basketball championship. So yesterday I went and I saw the third and fourth playoff because I don't know who's or when or what, you know. They just said it was going on till 8 p.m. Um, yeah. So here's the thing: is on the way there was like a car with a missing headlight, and now it's winter here, so 6:20 p.m. It's dark, no light. So you can tell that this is stupid. Like one car had to swerve out in front of me, just out on State Highway 1 coming up to the Mullings train station. Only had one car, one headlight operating. Another one at the exact same time, or like 5 seconds before, drive on the other side of the road, coming towards me, and he had no headlights on. Um, one was a white car, one was a black car. Um, just things like that, because that's things too. They adapt, okay, but strategies are still the same because they want you to see it. That's the difference between the gang stalkers and the police. The police don't want you to see it because it's called surveillance, because they're trying to keep an eye out, but at the same time, it's like, yeah. Now, with the honey traps, they try and do the stage thing. Look at this female I've got. Now, because I'm quite an open person, I have talked about the my favorite ethnicities and build for type of woman I want. And then, like, within the next day, you'll get 4 or 5 people, like, the 4 or 5 women of the same ethnicity, of the same build, or one of the ethnicities, um, show up, and then they'll be with another guy, and then this other guy will be like in front of me or whatever, and you're like, yeah, that's staged. Because why would he have to be like all in front of me, but like genuinely laughing, like right at me? Why'd you have to have that 4 or 5 times in a day when you've done that? But it's like, I see you, but A, it has no effect on me. So I know how to put you guys in that bracket. And then you see these same people somewhere else and they're acting totally different, or maybe you see the woman or the guys because it was, sometimes it actually is. Because the most obvious ones is where they say, like, oh, look at this, isn't she so wonderful? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, it's my missus, all that type of thing, and then they're together. But then, like, it turns out that they're not together. You find out they're not together. It was just this show to try and piss you off. And then some of them, they'll say, you know, that, man, some of them are actually together, but they just wanted to rub it in your face and brag and make you feel less than. But then other times, um, yeah, you can just tell it when it's one of those two. You can tell because, And then also you got to watch out for the trap thing, because I had women that would show up, and then I'd find out later on that they were in a relationship, or they were in a relationship, like maybe they've been with a guy for a number of years, or dating someone else for a few months and seeing this other guy too, and now they, you know. So there is that visibility thing. Um, Yeah, and then you meet people that meet the profile of what you described on some past event thing. But that's why you have to know that you're like fully healed, and it doesn't mean that you can't process things. But like if you were to face that exact same thing at any time, that it's not going to emotionally or mentally or spiritually get you in a point where you want to do something to someone, or you want to do something to yourself, or you're going to start self-sabotaging, or you're going to start doubting, or you're going to start doubting your worth, because you have to know that none of these things, like know within yourself that none of these things will ever happen if you see these things happening in front of you. And that's a trap too. They might be trying to trap your credibility, or maybe they just want to jump on. Or here's a guy with 10,000 followers on TikTok, doing his thing, and yeah, I can brag that I'm with this guy, and so it's can be either way, but it's